What's good, people? What's good? Today we come to a very special installment of I Was There. I usually do these on Fridays, but tomorrow is your boy's birthday, so we're not gonna be putting out videos on the birthday. Tomorrow we will be having a kick it day. You understand what I'm saying? But yeah, man. Today is the third installment of I Was There. In this installment, we're going to talk about the open mics in Chicago and how these open mics gave birth to some of the coldest MCs that some of you have heard and some of you have not heard of. I've said this before in one of my videos. I was away at school at Jackson State University. So a lot of open mics I did not catch. I didn't come home until 1994. So I missed the lower links. I never had a chance to hit the lower links. When I got home, the first open mic that me and Clutch Cargo went to, my rap partner at that time, the first one we went to was at the Elbow Room up north. And the first time we went in there, the host was Spo, and we didn't get a chance to touch the microphone. But I got a chance to hear some of these MCs that Chicago had to offer. It was about the second or third week that we actually got a chance to touch the microphone. The second week was the week that Fat Joe, Relativity Records, came there. Fat Joe and Common. And Juice got on stage with Fat Joe and Common and dissed both of them. Dissed both of them at the Elbow Room. I was there. I know some of y'all probably was there too, but they got on stage on his freestyle, and then Juice he dissed both of them, man. They was real. Common didn't really say nothing back. Fat Joe couldn't. He spit a written rhyme, but yeah, that was the second week. The third week is when Spo gave me the microphone. I got a chance to touch the microphone. Clutch didn't. And I remember after I got off the mic, Spo was looking at me with this look. And me and Spo talked about this later on, because when we came back the next couple of weeks, they didn't give us the microphone. And they had their little crew that was already there, you know, that they had to come up on stage and that they had to spit. They had them already ready, so, you know, I guess he was looking at us. He said he was looking at me like that because he was trying to wonder who I was. He's like, I never saw y'all before, and you was dope. So it was like, who is this new nigga? Now, I have to say this. I have to give props to my crew, Jackson State University, the Stupa Stowaways. Two rappers in particular. The summer was 1993. There was a brother by the name of P Dope. Rest in peace to P Dope, to my boy Tyrone. Tyrone was part of a group called the Abstract Mind State. And I've been knowing Tyrone since high school. He was that guy that always beat me in battling and dance battle. I used to battle with the dance battler, and he used to always beat me in it. So when we got to college, I see him at college. I'm like, man, what you doing up here? Now he's rapping. And as a crew, we would all hang out together and freestyle. And my freestyle was okay. I tell people all the time, if you can freestyle just okay, 70% of the world cannot do that. If you can put words together and do 8 bars, 70% of the world cannot do that. 60%. When you can freestyle like it's a written, 90% of the world can't do that. Close to 93. It's probably only 7 to 10% of the people who can do that, who can actually freestyle, and it sounds like it's written. Not you know. Some people grab words. You keep saying words over and over until you can grab your sentences. Like some people use the word motherfucker. They'll say their name, or they'll be like, you know, they'll just say a word. I'm like that, and each time they say I like that, it's them thinking of other words. So that's how my freestyle was. I used to do a lot of miggities. I would miggity it out. I was a miggity guy to connect my words. David Banner used to say motherfucker. He would motherfucker a lot. And so P Dope didn't do that. When P Dope rhymed, it sounded like it was written. to the point where at first I was hating on him. Like, man, that's written. He like, no, man, it's not written. This is freestyle. And me and Banner was like, how do you do that? So we wanted to find out. We would hang around P-Dope every day, me and Banner, so we could learn how he did it. And he just told us to practice. He said, practice. That was in June. He said, if you practice every day, your freestyle will be like this. And that's what me and Banner did. We practiced every day. That practicing got me ready for Chicago. So let's fast forward from the Elbow Room. A couple of weeks later, we go to another open mic called The Spot, and another open mic on 70th and Western called the Hip Hop Barbershop. And these two places was full of dope ass MCs. The Spot, the Hip Hop Barbershop, I met guys I met Third Eye Smuggler there. That's how I met Juice. I met Rhyme Fest. I met Minister 4/5. I met Loc Sinister and their crew, Mad Core Click. I met Lil Ray, P Funk, Gravity, Big Shoes, Busta. There were so many MCs that I met at the Spot and at the Hip Hop Barbershop. So the Elbow Room was every Monday night. The Spot was every Thursday night. I forgot what night the Hip Hop Barbershop was on. I think it was on Saturday nights. But that's where we would go until a situation happened with the Spot and they moved it to Dejois. So now we're at Dejois up north, and this is where we went every Thursday. Dirty MF was the host. And again, it's just cold ass MCs, Picasso, Verb, Sandman, these guys from True Black Tribe. They were all Ken Diesel, Ab G, you know what I'm saying, Ans 13, what's my girl name? The villain, I forgot her name. Dark skin, pretty girl. She was cold on the freestyle. The villain, the Duchess the villain. She was cold. Kenny Cash, you know what I'm saying? These dudes was cold, man, on the freestyling. And that freestyling shit made me think I didn't have no records. And I just thought that I was supposed to blow up by then, because with the freestyles, I made it to 106.3 on the radio. I'm on most of the DJs' mixtapes freestyling. And I just thought that by now, some record label would come to Chicago and discover us. We were on HBK all the time with DJ Ram, big shout to DJ Ram and DJ Spin. We were on HBK with JP Chill and Collapsar all the time. They letting us freestyle. So I was a little impatient, man. I thought that by this time I was supposed to blow up. My name was known in Chicago, and I thought I was supposed to blow up. I wound up leaving and moving to Atlanta. And I moved to Atlanta for a year. We're gonna come back and talk about my times and fun in Atlanta. But I came back to Chicago in 1997, and the open mics were gone. There was no Spot, gone. There was no Elbow Room. It was there, but they weren't doing open mic on Monday nights anymore. And I was like, whoa, this is terrible. This is 97. It wasn't until 1999, 2000, when I was reading the Reader newspaper, and I found out that there was an open mic at the Double Door on Monday nights and the open mic at the Subterranean on Tuesdays. I hadn't heard anything about these places. So I went to the open mic at the Double Door, the first one, that Monday night, and Dirty MF was hosting. I will never forget my first time going up there. I was super nervous. My rhyme partner at that time, K-Ba, Daryl Cook, peace to my boy, my homie. He had gotten in a little trouble and got locked up, and that was my inspiration, man. Like, me and K-Ba would sit down together and write rhymes and freestyle together all the time. And so now my freestyle partner, my rhyme partner was gone, and it seemed like I didn't have the inspiration anymore. And I went to the Double Door that first time, man, and freestyled, and I sounded terrible. I sounded terrible. I know nobody else thought I did, but I sounded terrible. Like Q-Tip said on Vibes and stuff, man, I went back Deal like I was supposed to. I practiced for a good 2 weeks, and I went back to the double door on a Monday and killed it. Killed it. I remember the weeks too. The next day I went to the sub T and found out that after the sub T went on from, I think it was 9 to 2, after 9 to 1. After the sub T let out, they went across the street to the spot called the Blue Note till 4 o'clock in the morning to freestyle some more. And I'm like, what? This is what we doing? So like, these were places where MCs really sharpened their sword, man. And I tell the MCs now, the Joel Q's and the Brittany Carters, I talk to them about these open mics that we had. I wish they could have been a part of those open mics, man, because you really don't understand how much an open mic can help you, can help an MC. Open mics help you with stage presence. They help you finding out what tone is good for you, what energy is good for rocking. It shows you how to move on stage. You know what I'm saying? It's a very great tool for MCs, man, you know. And to take those open mics away, the aldermen did it in those districts. I believe still to this day I say it was racist, how they took those open mics away from us. It was all racial. I've always said that those open mics actually really helped a lot of the gang violence in Chicago, because at these open mics you had a lot of different gangs underneath these roofs, you know, and there was peace. You know what I'm saying? I was able to go to some of the GD's neighborhoods and to go hang out with some of my guys that were rappers, and the GDs wouldn't bother me, or the vice versa, or gang in the neighborhood wouldn't bother me because I was dressed like a hip-hop nigga. And they like, oh, he must be here to see so-and-so, so-and-so. You know, so these open mics really helped the city out, man. And like I said, the double door, this is 2000 now. We're talking 2000 double door and the Blue Note and the sub T, we're talking 2000. And the sub T just stopped. The longest running open mic in the country, Tuesday nights, the longest. It was different. I went to go visit it once, and with Shadow and Anna, and it wasn't the same to me as it was when we were going in the 2000s, early 2000s. It was just so many dope ass MCs, man. Tazar, his cousin Day Day, Anai, like I said, Ants 13. It was just Shadow, Master, Low Tech. There were just so many dope ass MCs, man. The Pacifics, you know, just so many dope ass MCs during that time, and the camaraderie was dope. How these open mics made the camaraderie, man. So I just wanted people to come in here and talk about those open mics and how dope they were in Chicago. You know, I hear about the open mics in Detroit that they had with the Maurice Malone spot. When I lived in Atlanta, there was one at the Yin Yang, the club Yin Yang we used to go to. But Chicago has some cold ass open mics, man. You know, I have to give flowers to my boy Lil Ray, who hosted the spot, because if it wasn't for Lil Ray, you know, Lil Ray and DJ Ram and DJ Spin, too many people wouldn't have known who I was. You know, and I'm gonna tell that story of the spot, you know what I'm saying? The night that Lil Ray gave me the microphone, I'll never forget, the mic was in the middle. He had the microphone in the middle of the floor. There was no stand. We just was all in a cipher. And it was towards the end of the night, he gave me the microphone. I remember flowing. And when I got done, I felt like I was on a cloud. And the way it was set up, there was the DJ booth right here. Right in front of it was a little ledge by the window where you could go sit down. After I freestyled, felt like I was gonna pass out. I went to go sit down, and I looked up, it was all these niggas coming towards me. Oh, you snapped, oh. And Clutch was mad, he didn't get the microphone because they was running out. I think after I got through, they just ended it because everybody was going crazy. I thought it was the end of the night. And he was walking out. He was mad at Ram and Spin because they didn't give him the mic. And he walked past the DJ booth like this, the middle finger, and they was like, came outside to holler at us, and that's how we got cool with Ram and Spin. But yeah, man, I was there. I was there for some of the coldest open mics in Chicago. You know what I mean? And with those open mics, it really wasn't too many battles. We had exercises like questions, somebody asking you a question in between. And oh, I forgot about Sunday nights at the Blue Note with Dirty MF and the smoking section, the band. So you had the Dirty MF and the smoking section at the Blue Note on Sunday nights with a live band freestyle. Monday at the Double Door, open mic. Tuesday at Sub T, open mic, and then you go across street to the Blue Note, open mic. Come on, man. 3 days of keeping your sword sharp, and I would say that's why you have MCs from the 90s still doing their shit in Chicago right now because of those open mics. I tell some of these young yappers, young rappers, some of them young yappers, in 20 years, what will you be doing in 20 years? Will your pen be just as sharp? Will your skills be just on point, just as on point as they were then? Maybe, maybe not. But these open mics really helped us to keep our shit on point, bro. Keep our shit on point. And I know with some other open mics down there, you guys can put them in the comments, but to me, Double Door, Blue Note, and the Sub T were the top tier, man. It's top tier. I know I'm missing some MCs, man. Encyclopedia Brown, Freddie, Sam I Am, you know what I mean? Man, some spitters coming through those points. And oh yeah, the Empty Bottle that Prism had. The Empty Bottle had the open mics, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, man, it was just so many places where you can sharpen your sword, man, and get your practice on. And Chicago needs that again. They need a place for these MCs to walk and sharpen their sword and get that dark game right. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, this is we outside today on a beautiful day in Chicago. Like I said, I'm about to go celebrate my birthday. And thank you for tuning in to the third installment of I Was There. You know what I'm saying? And for all of my dope ass MCs who are not rapping no more, but you were there, kudos. Cause some of y'all not rapping, man. You know, lifestyle life, and everybody don't keep up with doing this. But we still doing it for you. All right? I was there. Peace.